Today we got some incredible looking renders of the Mate 30 Pro. These are from OnLeaks and Price Barber, renders based on leaked information about the Mate 30 Pro. Huawei last week confirmed that the 16th of September is the launch date for the Mate 30 series. Huawei are teasing more and more about what they will be releasing at the IFA event in Germany. The Mate 30 Pro is going to feature a completely different camera setup from last year's model, a much bigger camera sensor under the main unit, a bigger sensor under the ultra-wide unit, although they're not even calling it an ultra-wide, they're calling it a cine camera. So we expect a lot of improved features in video, which is something that I think a lot of Huawei P30 or Mate users will be very excited to hear about. Much smaller bezels, the waterfall display around the sides, so virtually no bezels around the sides, still keeping the notch up the top. Now, if you take a look at these renders, they are a little bit strange in some areas, especially the top and the bottom of the phone. You can see it looks like the actual top of the phone that should be on the top is in some way curved around the phone and actually comes all the way up to the front or the display of the device. It looks extremely strange, and I don't know whether that is just the way it's been rendered, so it looks a little odd, or whether that is actually how it's going to be. I absolutely cannot believe that Huawei are going to somehow put the bottom metal of the phone around on the display. So as with all leaks, let's just take this with a pinch of salt. I also see that actually the corners of the device have a load of dead space. It's not screen. If you look at the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, that basically has no bezels whatsoever. The screen goes right into the corners of that device. I would suspect that's how Huawei are going to get their screen manufactured too. According to the renders, it looks like the dead space in the corners is going to be way more than what we see on the Note 10 Plus. Usually power buttons on Huawei phones, at least their flagships, are just above the power button. I made a video a while back saying bye-bye buttons on the Mate 30 Pro. It was rumored that there wouldn't be, and these renders seem to confirm that. No headphone jack, of course, that is completely gone in flagship phones. So Google or no Google, I'm really excited for the Mate 30 Pro, just as a bit of hardware. Two bits of Redmi news today. The first one is that Redmi themselves released some heat test results. There's been a lot of videos flying around saying that the Redmi Note 8 Pro is overheating. A lot of this sort of thing always surfaces online with new devices. Redmi have released the heat test results themselves, saying it doesn't get any more hotter than, for example, the Honor 9X, which seems to be the phone that Redmi compare this to in every single test. Now, my personal experience of the phone, because I have been using it for a day or so now, it does get hot. I must admit, it is hotter than some other phones I use. For example, the Snapdragon 730, the Kirin 810, they don't run as hot as this one. So yes, it does get hot, but from my personal usage, it's not too hot or an actual problem that it's getting way too hot. It gets hot, but I think it's within a normal limit. Ladron, who is the Xiaomi CEO, announced that the Redmi K20 Pro in China is one of the first phones, excluding the actual Pixel series, to be getting Android 10 updates. Now, I checked myself because I have a Redmi K20 Pro. I didn't get the update. So with a little further digging, actually it was only people that are part of better programs and people that help them actually develop certain aspects of their operating system that got the rollout first. But it's good that Xiaomi look to be supporting their flagship phones with early Android updates too, which not every Android OEM does. Samsung today announced out of the blue a new chipset, an Exynos chipset, so their own brand, that will have an integrated 5G modem. This is the Exynos 980, and this is going to be a mid-range chip from Samsung, but with 5G, to give 5G connectivity to a mid-range lineup of phones. It's an 8nm FinFET chip, so try and compare it maybe to the Snapdragon 730. It also only supports UFS 2.1, so it's definitely a mid-range chip that Samsung are going to use in a cheaper line of phones. The Honor 20S is official. It was released in China today. This is essentially an Honor 20 Lite. So it keeps a lot of the good design, but instead of using Huawei's flagship processor, it uses the new mid-range chip, the Kirin 810. It keeps the design of the Honor 20, so you get an LCD screen with a hole punch notch. It's a 6.2-inch screen, so it's not a huge phone. You have the fingerprint sensor on the side of the device, a triple camera on the back, 48 megapixel main sensor, an ultra wide and a depth sensor. You get just shy of a 4,000 milliamp hour battery and 20 watt fast charging. I still don't know the price on this one, which is going to be the biggest factor to determine whether or not it's a good deal. But I doubt it will be a hyped up device, but let me know if those specs interest you in any way. Anyway, that is it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.